This is the Levels Network. I'm Justin Horo, joined as always by the Widdamoo, Triple OG Willie Mason.
What's happening?
And Widdamoo is going to be hitting different this week, OG, because the time has come. The colours are here.
Yeah.
We're about to hit Auckland, New Zealand for the Wars game against Manly, plus many more while we're over there. Obviously, the reason for heading over, we've got the golf episode coming up. Yep. But Lukey, our guy behind the camera, who does not have a mic, by the way, we're in a studio that it doesn't allow for you guys to hear the mic from the outside. So he sits
glass case of emotion.
He's Ron Burgundy. He's Ron Burgundy sipping on a bit of milk at the back there. Actually, he's not on milk anymore. My guy's looking after the rig. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But Lukey's got some, what would you call, levels patches here for you guys. Little patches O'Houlihan. So we've got a few of these. We just wanted some sort of memorabilia to hand out on behalf of Levels. Like we said, we've got strong representation in New Zealand.
So put them on a hat, I suppose. Hat?
Yep.
Or a shirt. Anything, Lukey? Just like, or mainly just hats, Lukey?
Whatever you want to put it on.
We were going to, like, obviously we're dropping a little bit of merch, and Lukey was saying either put it on a shirt, hat, or whatever you want. So we're just going to leave it up to the punters, really. We'll just be handing them out. Put it on there. It says Auckland 2.
How many we got, Lukey? Got 150 the best.
Auckland 2023, our debut year in Auckland, so we're going to make this an inaugural thing.
Well, these are the OGs.
Yeah, this is the OG.
These are the OGs. This is our first ever year. Levels 2023. First trip to Auckland as a team. Levels 2023. And
collector's item.
A collector's item. You know, you tell your kids, maybe we could, there's enough little, I can chuck a little
100%
chuck a little signature on the top there. But shout out to Let's Trot. It's too well, by the way, but like, bang, look at that.
There we go.
Oh,
there we go.
Screen's gone. You turn the screen off. Looking forward to the trip and getting amongst it with the.
Be good, man.
We'll save that a little bit later. I was gonna toss you a few names, but we'll get to them later at the YouTube questions, Mace. Before we move on to that, I'd like to give everyone a little update on our City to Surf.
Yes, recap. Boys, well done, well done.
So I'm stoked, mate.
This is kiddies for you, but.
Yeah,
you did 20K like in Queenstown.
Yeah,
you just did 13. I know the hill.
Yes,
would have got you, but I saw your times. You were killing it.
Yeah, it's a different sort of beast, that Heartbreak Hill. So I did it last year, and I just didn't respect it enough. So me and Lukey were doing it this year. Right. My one word or one piece of advice to Lukey going into it was like, just give it the respect it deserves, because when someone tells you like a hill's 1.4K. And I've been through Rose Bay and Bondi and that many a time. And when you're driving, you're sort of like, it's pretty big, but you'll be sweet. For whatever reason, I just must have been super out of shape last year, but I really struggled up it. So I did a shitload of hills this year in preparation, plus obviously preparing for the Sydney Marathon. I've ran at least a half marathon already, so dropping back down to 7Ks. But in saying that, I approached this as like a practice run.
Yeah.
But it didn't end up like that.
Nah.
Once I got going and the juices started flowing and you're running next to people, so I don't know, the competitive side.
How do you maximum, just say out of 100, like what percentage do you reckon you would have went out at some parts of the race? Really putting the gas down, or you? Like,
I was going pretty solid. Yeah, so I've got the splits up in that as well.
450 splits, pretty much.
I think my lowest split. So like average, for my preparation for the Sydney Marathon. On a weekend for my long runs, I'm trying to maintain heart rate and both the splits. So I'm trying to sit anywhere between like 5:30 to 5:45 per kilometre.
Right, well, you were well under 5 for most.
Yeah, because this was shorter, right? Because I just, know, like I said, this is the competitive juices taking over, like I said. So ideally in my head, I was like, you know what? I'll sit 5 to 5:15. That'll still be a really good run, and it's still on target for preparing for the Sydney Marathon. So the first one was good, 5 minutes.
But that's because you were saying at the start, you're nearly in a walking pace, right?
Yes.
You got a crab walk. Yeah,
and then I went 4:40, 4:52, 4:56, 4:37 and 4:55.
Yeah, nice.
Then I got to the hill, the start of the hill, and went 5:57. So I hit a bit of a wall.
Yeah.
And then I went 5:10, about halfway up the hill, coming in. Yeah. So I was expected to drop, but I didn't expect to be running as fast as I was sort of looking down. I'm like, because I get an alert every time I run a kilometre. So I looked down and I was like, 4:40. I was like, pull it back a bit. You're going too hard. You might blow out. Like I'm thinking in my head, I'm going to get to the hill and blow out. And then I was like 4:52 and I was like, fuck, I feel like I'm travelling here. Like I feel like I'm not proper going for it, but I'm still getting good times. And again, it just comes back to the energy. So really proud of my time. I got an hour and 8 minutes. I did an hour and 18 last year. Yeah. So I beat my time by 10 minutes.
Do you reckon you had more in you? Do you reckon you could have busted
for
60?
Sure.
You would have got, I reckon,
no, not 60. No. I reckon.
You can't shave 8 minutes off, just say this time next year if you keep this up?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah, but right now, if I wanted to go for it as hard as I could, maybe an hour 6 max. Yeah, but that's having a crack because a couple of minutes is a big gap, man. That's why I was proud because I did an hour and 18 last year. So 10 minutes is a massive jump. And then also shout out to our partner here at Levels Network, Lukey. So for people that don't know, Lukey, we sort of had joke about it a fair bit over the years. He's like, oh yeah, I'll start running next week. Oh yeah, I'll start my diet next week. Anyway, he had a bit of a health scare about 6 weeks ago. Just a little bit unhealthy. Had a few
42
too many
days
drinks.
now off the piss.
42
Clean
days
eating. Looks totally different. I'm proud of him.
Yeah,
really well. He's done. And he did the fucking city surf. That's mad.
There you go. So last year, with all the I was pretty consistent with my training. I did an hour and 18. Lukey did it this year in an hour 22.
Wow,
that's 5 minutes and 55-second clips per kilometre. So he wanted to get sub 6. He got sub 6, and most importantly, he's a fucking dog.
Yeah, he got it.
He hit the dirt.
He
hit the dirt in front of fucking Ravisi.
You'll see him limping over in New Zealand, boys. You think he's broken his hip, but he's got a little bit of a scab on his knee.
I think his ego hurt more than his knee, to be fair.
Straight out of Ravisi's, he wasn't drunk.
I've slipped in front of Ravisi's a couple times. I
was like, what were Ravisi's? Jeez, what are you doing?
So if you're not familiar with how the track works, Ravisi's is basically the last point before you turn with about 500 metres to go. So my mate, he's 13K into it, 13.5. He's probably looking down. He's got his phone on him. He's happy with his time. He's going to get the 6-minute clips. And then he just hits the dust of this fella. Scratches on his knees. He reckons he started abusing himself. He could hear people laughing in the background. He had the music in.
He got up super quick.
He reckons he's never bounced up quicker. Kept on going. Could see the blood coming out of his peripherals, but got the job done and finished off. So, Lukey, well done. Super proud of you. Obviously, like we said, you've made a lot of changes over the last 6 to 7 weeks, and that's what I want to lead into us now, Mace. We got after it this morning. We did a session at the lab. Shout out to Whip.
Yeah, nice Whip.
We've got some exciting stuff coming up with them. So this is what I want to tell our community straight away. So for people that follow me on Strava, because I posted my Strava now over the last couple of weeks with regards to Sydney Marathon and City to Surf, go on to my Strava page. Obviously, give us a follow if you want, but get in the Levels Network community. So what I'm going to do is, me and Mace are really big. Like you said, you talked about your nutrition and training. And I don't just say this because he's sitting there, and we're not just doing this because, we're trying to preach something that we ain't. Yeah. Mace trains minimum of 5 times a week. He's actually really helped me out with my training. He's kept me super consistent. I'm doing the Sydney Marathon, but I was already doing stuff with you at the lab as well, Mace. So we're really big on it. We believe in it. We want to separate ourselves and not separate ourselves, bring in people to our community.
Point of difference, man.
Point of difference. So first and foremost, this is what we want you to do. Go onto my page, my Strava. We've got a Levels Network group. Pardon? Link. Nice and easy. Lukey's got the link below. But go on, get in the group with more information to come.
Yeah.
More information. But
it'll be good. It's got some good things coming. We've got some real good collabs, and we just want to get after it. And we sort of want to inspire we're talking about the older sort of generation, but it's like the 18 to like 25, 26-year-olds. The younger kids sort of like looking for that motivation to, join a group or, inspire them, educate them. That's what it's all about. And so get in there, get amongst it, get on the link, and we've got some good things coming.
How inspiring it is for whatever age you are, like me just being at the City of Surf, 80,000 people.
Yeah, man.
There's just good energy whenever I'm doing this stuff, whether it be the Husky Triathlon.
It's contagious, isn't it, right?
It's so contagious, mate. It's like,
I think I might do it next year.
Yeah. But like, even if it's not that, Mace, it's like you going to E-Lab and you get together and you see a couple of the girls and the guys that get down there. Some guys are a little bit overweight. Yeah. Some guys are in good shape. Some are old. Some are young. But there's nothing better than getting together with a group and just having a train. So that's what we're trying to create, mate.
And that's probably what we miss, you say, as ex-athletes, right?
Sure.
You know, like you're trying to emulate that somehow, and like none of us really go to the gym by ourselves. Like I don't do it. No. Like I train at E-Lab. Why? Because there's a group of people there, right? There's a group of 10 or 12. I don't go into fucking any gym and sit there and lift weights and do anything because it does my head in.
I've never done that ever.
I honestly don't think I've done it. Maybe in the pre-season where I'm like, I might get a quick weight session in, so you don't get that real soreness when you're coming into pre-season, right? Yes, 100%. You get a couple of that, but mainly you're with your boys as well. You go, let's go get it. Let's get something done.
You normally take 2 or 3.
And now I'm like, no way. Like I go down to E-Lab because you get that sort of team around you, right? Like you're training with other people. You get to chat. You get that camaraderie, and that's probably what you miss when you miss the camaraderie with the players and stuff. So you got to get after it when you train. You train real hard. As I always say, iron sharpens iron. You go after it. You know what I mean? It always brings the best out of you, and that's why I always go down to E-Lab, train in the groups. They have like classes like 5 in the morning, 5:45, 6:30, 9:30, 5 in the arvo and 6. So it's literally a kilometre from my house. You've walked.
We've got one Maroubra Junction and Waverley.
And Maroubra Junction and Waverley. So if I miss a session, I'm an idiot, right? So I try and do one every day.
Yep.
And they mix it all up. It's all the same classes, HIIT classes, weight classes, all stretching, breathing, all that kind of stuff. So they got something really good down there. So I just try and get after it like at least once a day.
Yeah. So even if you're not, even not in our area, that's what I wanted to tell people too. By the way, get in the Levels Network community because although we'll be doing something, we're trying to sort out across our platform, our demographic basically. Yeah. So we're trying to link up with something. Those are the details we want to get to a little bit later on. But basically, if you're in Auckland or New Zealand and you think that you're going to be left out, or Brisbane, Gold Coast, which
we've got connections there. I think, and that's the difference. The rugby league world, we'll all join together in this. And we'll collab with some great ex-Warrior players and New Zealand players over there. So all our fans in New Zealand, you won't be missing out. And especially with that Strava shit that you just told me today. I never heard of it. And I'm like, you don't really have to be there. You just got to show it on that, don't you? Yeah. You're getting after it.
It is. Yeah, it's the perfect way. Like there's no shortcuts on Strava. Yeah. Well, I suppose you can if you attach it to someone else.
A dog.
Or a dog. Have you heard a few yarns like that when GPS and that first come in and people were doing that? Yeah, that's a giggle. Also, while you're there, make sure you go and sign up to levelsnetwork.com.au. You register your email. First access for the merch. We will be sending sneak peeks here first too. So the hoodie that Mace is rocking, that's a sample. That's 50-50 still at this point. Yeah. Lukey's he's liking it. We're on?
We're on.
We're going to get it. You're going to get the hoodies. Oh, Grouse, you never confirmed that with me. There you go. Learned something new on the show as we go as well. The hoodies are in. So Lukey loves the numbers. The numbers have been flowing. So keep going. If you haven't registered yet, register now, mates. levelsnetwork.com.au. You'll be the first to find out when our first collection is dropping. Man.
With the email list, though, you got to be quick, though, because it might go quick.
With the email list, you got to be quick because the merch might. We're just gauging this with our numbers, so there's not going to be a whole heap. So you got to get in there nice and quick when we do drop. As for subscribers, we are at 14.6k. We're on our way to that 20k that we're chasing on YouTube. Subscribers are looking good. Like you mentioned last week, really grateful to be where we're at the top of the Spotify playlist last week. So make sure you go on Apple and Spotify, review, 5 stars.
Comments.
Where the grouse. Tell us where the grouse. We love that shit.
Comments are good.
We never get too high. We never get too low.
In the middle.
And let's move on to something that was really important to me. So we talked a lot about the City to Surf, Mace. These are big time. So the Moose low carb bars here, the cookies and cream low carb Moose bar, a bar that defies expectations. So Mace, I pumped this post. I had.
Can you have one? Sorry, could you hide one of those in your pocket?
You don't have to hide them. I just
have one.
You can have them.
That's what I'm saying. Just all those little gels and everything like that.
Yeah. So I had one of them.
Those little gels that you can just take before the game.
Chucked it in the Skyrocket.
Yeah.
Got it about halfway through. Bang, gave myself a little bit of energy. Only did half because I didn't
on your big one.
I couldn't go the full one because when you just like it's too much effort to just keep chomping down.
Yeah.
But then I had one after post-race as well. So BSC Moose Bars are currently available in Woolworths, Chemist Warehouse, online at bodyscience.com.au and in independent supplement retailers. And I'm stoked that people are not only, getting BSC products, but they're letting us know about it as well.
Yeah.
They're letting us know in the YouTube comments. They're letting us know on our Instagram. Super proud. Body Science, obviously, with what we're going to be trying to do, they will be a big part of it. So looking forward to that. It's time to move on to the great debate, Mace.
Yes. This is a new one?
Yeah, the great debate.
Yeah.
So Tabs, great sport debate. This is obviously based off the success of the Tillies. They're into the semi-final.
Yeah.
They're playing England. It was a nail-biter, penalty shootouts. Aussie get the job done.
Beating England's the best.
We're going to, if we beat England to go into the final.
Yeah.
But even better, like we lived in France for a little bit.
Yeah.
Knocking over the Frogs is nice, but England will beat even better, especially off the back of the Ashes.
Massive.
So the Tab, the great sport debate.
Yeah.
The nation's great debate on what is Australia's national sport. Hit the link and vote for rugby league as your favourite sport. That's our sport, mate.
That's my
obviously.
sport. That's our sport.
I'm all behind the Tillies, right?
What do you think is our national
Well,
sport?
I'm interested to find out.
I think it's cricket.
Would you say? Yeah, cricket.
I think it's cricket.
All right.
Yeah.
No emails or anything required. Just click a few boxes. Don't let the other sports beat the greatest game of all, which is rugby league.
Yeah,
That I think due to the success of the Tillies, we could be in a little bit of trouble. I think you're right. I think normally cricket would be pretty high up there. It's a national sport.
It's the third biggest sport in the world.
But in your opinion, what makes rugby league so great, though, mate?
Oh, I was just brought up with it, right? I didn't play cricket or any other sports when I was younger.
You would have been a nice fast bowler.
Yeah, I used to love Curly Ambrose. That's about it. I just love rugby league. I think because I'm built for the sport as well, and just that camaraderie, is a team sport. You could tackle, you could run, you score tries, sort of everything that you want to do. Like, it's not boring. It's always on. There's always something on. There's nothing. You're not sitting around like even when I was playing union when I was a bit younger, it seemed like it wasn't that fast. So especially if you're not playing at the top level.
Yep.
You kick it out, line out. There's 3 or 4 minutes. It's all that kind of shit. Where rugby league's constantly in.
The balls
and
in play.
attack. So that's what I really loved about rugby league. So I'm always going to be rugby league. Any sport, doesn't matter. I mean, and AFL is probably going to be up there because AFL is pretty much
For sure.
it's probably one of the most popular games in Australia. It'd be cricket, AFL, rugby league. That'd be the top three, I reckon. Some
and
good
you know what?
sports,
I'm a
mate.
big sports fan, so
I love it. I love it all. And I respect all sports.
So do
That's the
I.
thing. I'm not a fucking diehard rugby league fan who just goes, "Oh, union's soft and AFL's this." No. I respect all sports. They're hard to play. To get to the top of any sport
Skill
is
sets.
nothing but respect.
For sure.
I just love rugby league.
Yep, I'm with you. And you know what? We're a working class sport. That's what I love about
Yeah.
it. That's my favourite part.
Yeah.
Let's get on to the YouTube questions. And this comes from a rugby union guy, believe it or not, Mace. Hey, lads, I'm 19 years young from Wales, UK. How good's this? I love just straight off the bat, just getting the ones from Wales and overseas, especially in Europe. Playing union, however, I fractured my tibia in my first pre-season game. Been listening to the potty whilst in hospital, definitely getting me through it. 2 questions. Any advice on how should I approach my recovery in the mental side of things, which I knew you'd love, Mace?
Yeah.
And the second one, also, where do you see Reece Walsh's career going? Will he be considered one of the best to do it by the time he hangs up the boots? Yeah, right. 2 really good questions and hang in there, obviously. Joe Anderson, we hope you recover quickly. The mental side of injuries, mate.
Young kid, 19
years old.
Tibia is the thick bone in the lower leg, if everyone doesn't know that. You got fibula, which is non-weight bearing bone. Tibia is the thick one. Okay. So to break that is a lot of pressure to go through that. When you break your tib fib, like where just say like a yay down below, tib fib, dislocated, like that's nearly, obviously it was nearly career ending for him. But I'm not sure where the break is, but you got to be patient. And you're a young 19-year-old, your body's still growing.
Yep.
And the mental side of things, I just think you should just be focusing on your health. That's it.
Yep.
Don't rush back. Don't, like I know at a young age you're trying to impress, and you're at a young age and you're comparing yourself to other players. Oh, my mate's playing in this rep team and I'm busted and this and that. So you start comparing yourself to everyone else. You start getting down on yourself. Make sure your diet's good, but make sure you just really...
Mace, can you just allude to that? Because one of the biggest things that I think I've learned over the years is you can't outrun a diet, right?
No,
you can't outtrain a diet. So even more important, why you like this, how
These are the
important
little
is a diet?
1%ers. The diets, they're all the 1%ers. I touched on it last week with the 1%ers about players just letting themselves go through the year. You can't run at the moment. So if your weight is a problem with you, like... you're going to put on weight,
or even if you're a slender kid, you still want to put. You don't want to put on shit weight.
Yeah, just eat properly and back yourself to get back to your peak fitness. Right, you're a 19-year-old young bull. You're going to get after it. If you want to get after it, you'll get it. Not only seen a 19-year-old kid, you know, even if they and it's a fracture, it's not a complete break. So you're probably going to be in a cast for like 6 weeks, and then you start walking. You're not really going to lose that much muscle. So it shouldn't be that hard. But the mental sides of things is when the young kids think that they're missing out on stuff. It's a different mentality these days. Like their mates could be making rep teams and all this kind of stuff. And it's, you know, like when you're sitting at home, social media. So stay strong, kid, and make sure your diet's good, but make sure your mind is clear and to where you want to go. If you want to be a pro, these are the pitfalls of being an athlete. Injuries happen. You got to be strong, and you got to be strong enough to get through it.
100%. I'll just add one more thing. I think Mace nailed it all there. I will just say we're in a world. There's some pros and cons to the amount of content that we're able to see. But you can go on and watch people like Alex Smith from the Redskins days, and they're now the Commanders. Go and watch documentaries about how people have come back, how they've come back better than ever. Use that as motivation.
And
get information from that, and continue to listen to the professionals as well.
Perspective, right?
Yep.
Perspective and gratitude. Really, like, just think, right, it could be way worse. I mean, a lot of players that have done massive injuries that never really come back.
Well, let's use, and we're about to go to New Zealand, right? Daniel Anderson, he's not a young aspiring player. He was in a surfing accident. At the moment, he's struggling to quadriplegic, right? So you always got to look you try to find positives in certain situations, and
Alex McKinnon, young 21-year-old, his whole career got taken from him in one tackle.
All right. What about the Reece Walsh question? Where does Reece Walsh end up when it's all said and done?
The more I look at him, the more it's like a clone between Matty Bowen as his pace and Billy Slater.
Yeah,
it's silky.
I like that
because he's got the skills. Like Billy Slater didn't develop his pass until later in his career. Yeah. It was about 7 or 8 years.
Matty always had it.
Matty Bowen had those mad skills. So he's halfway in between that. He's going down short side, 3-on-3. He's been bang. He's throwing the long ball. He's going short.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable. He's the best player in the world at the moment. He's not going to get the Dally M this year because of his suspension.
Yeah,
that's it. But he is hands down the best player in the world. On form right now. And at the end of the day, if he
I would say he's the most dangerous.
He's dangerous, mate. If he doesn't, if they don't win, they don't go near winning the comp without him.
Yeah, I agree.
He needs to be on every single game.
I agree.
He will take that. He could put the Broncos on his back and win the comp for him.
They looked a lot more, even though I think they only dropped 2 games out of 3 he was suspended. What's going on there?
But at the end of the day, I think he'll be behind Billy as like second. If he keeps his trajectory going up, you got Billy Slater, best fullback in Queensland history.
Yeah.
There's light years between the next one. You got
Lockie, because Lockie went to 6, right?
Lockie's a 1 and 6. There's no real genuine fullback. Where Billy had it from pretty much 2006 onwards. No, 2008 onwards.
Yeah,
because Carmichael was in there a little bit. He played wing at the start.
Kept him out.
Carmichael kept him out a little bit.
Sleep on Carmichael.
And then so that's when Billy went back to the lab about 2005, 6, 7 because he wasn't in any rep team, right?
Yep.
And then he developed a little kick, the passing game, all that kind of stuff. So it wasn't just Billy just being flat out. You know, like coming around the back, beating you with skill with his left foot, those little plays with Cooper Cronk coming on the inside, Cameron Smith going out, Cooper Cronk going in, boom, Billy through the middle, out and in. Everyone started getting onto that. He started going around the back, playing 3-on-2s, throwing the long ball, hitting the short guy, little kicks, fucking polished, everything. That's Reece Walsh now.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's scary. And he's like, Reece Walsh, he can't hit that dude. So he's got the skill set of like Mango, and Matty Bowen was holding Billy Slater out the fullback position as well.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, they were competing for a long time.
You know, so like I think he's probably really moulded his game around Billy, around Mango, and sort of just made his own. And I think he's probably the complete fullback in the game now.
I didn't realise how thick he was.
He's got a great
base.
very tight shorts.
He's got a great base.
He's quads, he'd be squatting 200 plus.
You know when you embrace someone and you feel it?
Yeah, man.
Like when I did the golf episode with him, sort of went in for the embrace, fuck, we're partners, let's get after these. I'm like, ooh.
The arms, the lats,
I was like,
chest.
That's when I had to change the rating of the way we view dogs because I'm like, man,
he's there.
He's got a bit of fucking dog about him.
Just don't look in his eyes.
I was like, ooh, but he's fucking so pretty. Like, oh, I'm conflicted.
But that's
I don't know how to feel about it.
If he continues where he is, because it's that way. It's the trajectory is massive. You know what I mean? Like if he stays at the Broncos are always successful. You know, help Billy and his greatness as well. Coincided with Melbourne being one of the best clubs pretty much in sports history in Australia. Queensland being the greatest team of all time. Australia being the greatest nation of all time.
Cam Smith being the greatest player of all time.
So he played with the greatest players. So like talent-wise, he could go neck and neck with Bill. But it helps with the system that you're in.
That would be interesting. Imagine the paths, how different life would be.
I always think of this, man.
If Cam didn't have Billy, would he go down as the greatest of all time?
Cooper Cronk.
Or Cooper, yeah, obviously Cooper's a big one. I'd rate them in terms of
if they all were at separate clubs in 2003, how would they have turned out?
Yeah.
That's what I always say. Like that's where I always when I'm picking the best players of all time, like that's what I always think. Like we put them in a whole different system. How do they work out? Like Andrew Johns was never in the best system, but he was always the best player in any team.
Yep.
JT, you know what I mean? Like JT went up to North Queensland. They weren't that good. He made it.
I think Cam's system proof. I think JT's system proof. I think
they all would have been great.
The only one
Cooper Cronk's assistant.
He's the only one I'd question, but he's also said that himself.
Yeah,
he's coming. I think I love watching him with Matty Johns, and he's always said like
his work ethic is ridiculous.
His work ethic and the system and being in Melbourne, being able to develop from like a lock hooker to be able being a half.
He debuted really against the Bulldogs. And played on the wing and hooker.
Yeah, no one
knew what position he was, but his work ethic and so if you're going to take little bits, if you're a young half, you're going to just say like you're going to look at Joey and you look at JT, freak players, IQ off its fucking head, but work ethic, methodical is Cooper Cronk. He used to write everything down. He used to journal everything. He used to his
probably
work
still does.
Yeah, his work ethic is crazy. Where JT and Joey had natural ability plus the hard work.
Yeah.
Those two are the hardest workers in the room.
Yeah.
And that's why they're two of the greatest players of all time. With Cooper Cronk, he's fucking right behind him. If you look at accolades, he's probably got more than Joey.
I think he's got more than both.
And you know what I mean? But like just the optics and just like looking at him as a player, you're like, he's very systematic where he doesn't have those brilliant moments with Joey and JT because he's played in such great systems. But like he's a top 3-4 half of all time.
Yeah.
Easily. You know, but like it's different because he doesn't get the raps that he deserves.
Well, you can't even compare of all time, really. I think you can always compare in errors. And like when we think of our eras from 2000 onwards, you got Joey, JT, for me, Cooper.
Well, I think that's the best era. I think that's the best era.
Yeah, of course. We're always going to advance. 20 years from now, that's probably going to be the best era. 20 to fucking 2040, right? That's just the way that we develop and we continue to grow. Our diets get better, genetics get better because. You know, like the food that our parents were eating wasn't necessarily the best food to be putting in their bodies, right? So humans are only going to get better, more information.
I just think, with those two halves, with JT and Joey, that era that they played in really suited the way they played because it was very open and they could play eyes up footy.
Yes.
Where right now you're not really getting the best out of these halves and not really like letting them play what they see all the time because you sometimes get stuck on one side of the field. Where Cooper Cronk and that he could go anywhere. Joey went anywhere he wanted to anytime he got the ball. And so JT. You know, now sometimes
there's not as many
it's the system of the game.
Yeah.
It's like it's really hampered a lot of halves. And, you know, even like Dearden, right, at the start, they tried to put him in, it just didn't really fit. You know, and bang, play 5'8", go to another club, bang, origin player, like representative player in the future. So it's really, it's, and I think it's somehow coming back that way where they want halves to take over.
Yep, I agree. Moving on to the next one. I have not long started listening to your podcast and I keep on hearing Willie Mason called the OG. Can you please tell me what that means? So I gather that Lyndall Wakeman is maybe of the older variety, a little bit older. You must indeed be an OG. OG is an abbreviation for original. So Mace come before me. He was a vet when he rocked up when I was at Manly. Always had a lot of respect for what Mace did before me. So it's a term of endearment or respect to older people that had gone before you. OGs. Yeah. Mace's OGs are the Gordy Tallises of the world.
Gordy Tallis. Gordon asked me this as well. He goes,
did he?
what the fuck is OG? I said, original, OG.
yeah.
He goes, I said, you're an OG. You're my OG. Nigel Vungen is my OG. Ruben Wiki, all those blokes, they're my OGs, you know? Like
in the States, it's original gangster.
Yeah, in the States. But with OGs over here, it's just like, the
OG,
original.
the original.
And he goes, and he was stoked. I said, you're fucking coming on the show, don't worry.
Yeah, you're the OG. And also, she's just followed, Lyndall Wakeman. I wonder if that could be a guy or a girl. Love your work, guys. Enjoy this podcast so much. Listen on the way to work. I have met Willie once when he was having a coffee in Derby Street, and it was my daughter's 18th birthday, and I remember him walking down Derby Street and coming into the cafe we were to wish my daughter a happy birthday. Never will forget that. You're a legend, Willie. P.S. I'm a former Toronto resident.
Yeah, Toronto in the house.
Toronto, stand up, baby. Thanks, guys.
Yes.
Little Wakeman. So thanks for the message, mate. Always like to hear those.
Appreciate it.
Especially those messages of, sometimes, the way we speak and carry on a little bit.
You sort of forget like the impact.
Yes.
I was always one of those players, and even when I was doing stuff like that, I was always aware of the impact that you do make with younger kids, you know what I mean? Because I was that younger kid. If someone had ever come up to me and just went...
Lukey's got something, sorry, Mace. Lukey just said that there was a microclip of Mace being tagged in the Waterboy. He talked about how Mace called Matty the Waterboy. Shout out to Matty the Waterboy. Shout out to the beat.
I didn't know because that was on Bloke in the Bar,
Yeah. But yeah, just like you said, mate. And plus also, you just don't want to be a fucking lemon.
Yeah,
right?
like I'd never do that because I was always thinking, I'd never do that to a younger kid or anything like, or not sign something or do anything like that. Say, come in there and say it's my daughter's birthday. Of course I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? Like, imagine being that wanker who goes, nah. Yeah. And like, you got nothing to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you just say it no because you're a fucking wanker.
Yeah.
Like, don't be. And the thing is, 99% of rugby league players and all athletes are good blokes, and they will do that.
For sure.
You know, it's just that minority in every group that ruins it for everyone.
All right, speaking of groups, we've got some names for our groups. I'm going to chuck a couple at you that I like.
Yes.
All right, so this is from last week. So the first one's from Steve-O. Think something like the L1s for level 1 for the followers that have joined in the first year. So the L1s, the level 1s.
I like it.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I like it. All right, the second one is the name of the group of the listeners, the Mongrels.
Mongrel Mob. No, we're going to New Zealand this week.
Oh, yeah, you know what I mean? That could get us a bit of trouble in New Zealand. Obviously, Thomas Quinney might be from Australia. This has to be a winner for sure. Blokes who love to get amongst it and have a bit of dog in them. The other one is called, obviously going with the dog, a lot around the dogs. This club should be called the Pound. I don't mind the Pound. The Pound's good. Is the Pound, that's from Chris Anderson too.
Pound.
That's the old coach and player.
Yeah, thanks, Opes. Thanks, Opes.
Thanks for listening in, Opes. You've been enjoying the show.
Loves the show.
And I think this is the one that got the most. So I picked one. This is from Hillstorm Hillary, but there was maybe, I reckon, at least half a dozen, 6 to 7. Keep the name simple, fellas. Levelers, e.g., punter, dribblers, and levelers.
Levelers. Yeah, all right.
Our levelers.
That's it. I like that.
So we got the L1s. We got the mongrels. Probably can't go the mongrels because if you go to New Zealand, you're the mongrel mob. You don't want to be called that.
Nah.
So the mongrels are out. The Pound. So those are 3. We'll keep working on it. We're not locking anything in yet because I really want to nail this down, and it could be, in the end, it could be a page we start, like the punters and dribblers page for Hello Sports down the road. So I want to make sure we nail this name. But I do like the levelers. I do like L1s.
Yeah.
I do like our L1s.
I like L1s.
So we'll keep L1. Oh, Lukey, you like L1? That's your winner? Yeah, Lukey likes L1s as well.
I think I'm there as well.
All right, we'll
levelers know. Too many syllables.
Yeah, levelers. You know what? We're going to catch up with our L1s. We're going to catch up with our levelers.
Come on, L1s.
Which one flows with L1s?
L1s. Rolls.
It rolls nice, yeah.
All right, shout out to our L1s.
L1s from day one.
Yeah, day ones. L1s.
Ooh,
yeah.
L1s from day one? Is that it?
L1s, day ones.
L1s. Bang. Yeah. I like it. All right. Speaking of dogs, there was heaps about the Pound. What else we got? The mongrels. Let's talk about our body science dogs of the week. Round 23. Mace, you're going with Adam Fanor Blake.
He's a beast, man. The amount of work that he gets through. As I said, I was sort of not harsh on him, but I was picking a few little flaws in his game was defensively, right?
Yeah, about 8 weeks ago.
Yeah, but he fucking works on it now.
Yeah.
And you're not really going to run straight into Adam Fanor Blake because he's going to pump you. He's about 125 kilos and he's solid as hell and he's got great tackle tech. It's his work around the ball. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you go to the weak side, all the repeat efforts. And the amount of minutes that guy gets through, he got 70 minutes out in the middle. I don't give a fuck who you're playing against. Like, I think, who they play against? Was it Tigers? Tigers.
Yeah.
Tigers still got a good pack, man.
Yeah.
They go at it. Papali'i, you still got...
that's the strongest part of their team.
That's the strongest part of the team, right? Appy's fucking... He gets underneath them. Like, they've still got a decent forward pack. 270 metres, 80 post-contact metres.
I didn't even get 80 metres in the
That's
game.
more than some people's metres gained as front rows.
I was an 80-minute back row.
6 tackle breaks, 27 tackles, and a try. It sealed the game for him. What a knock. You know what I mean? Like, if he keeps going like this, they need him to be doing these. Like, he needs to go on a run like this to make a big dint. If he's going to go at the Payne Haas's, if he's going to go at the Leotas, the Fisher Harrises, because when he does that, he's going to have his boy with him. Who's the other prop there? Barnett.
Yep.
He goes, all right, you're going to have Bunty and Foa. And then can you go against Fisher Harris? Can you go against Leota? Can you go against Payne, Flagler?
So
those boys at fucking Carrigan.
I forgot to put it in. There was a question now based off those three that you mentioned, right? Top 3 teams.
Yeah.
Penrith, Leota, James Fisher Harris.
Yo, that's your middle.
But even just let's just stick the front rows. Brisbane Broncos, Jersey Flegler, Payne Haas. Warriors, Adam Fanua-Blake, and Mitchy Barnett's been playing like a dog.
They need that guy.
We talked about the value of the front rows last year when we had our discussion on who's more important, Broncos. So someone threw me a couple of comparisons then, and I think this was the best one. It was, would you rather have Nathan Cleary and Leo Thompson, like a young ascending front row coming through?
I like Leo Thompson.
This is why I like this comp.
Right.
So I'm going to throw it to you. Sorry if I forgot your name. It was in the comments. I was supposed to put it in. So Nathan Cleary and Leo Thompson, so the premier halfback in the competition for the last 5 years.
Underrated. He's an underrated dog.
With an underrated player, or Payne Haas and Chad Townsend.
I'm going... Oh, shit. Because I like Thompson.
Yes.
His upside is big.
Yeah.
He's been outstanding all year. He's been my guy. I was speaking to Marco O'Mealy about Thompson. I said, where did he come from? He just come through the grades.
Yep.
He's been playing around for a little bit.
His brother plays rugby union for the All Blacks.
Yeah. I was looking at his New Zealand Māori stalking his physique yesterday.
Yeah.
Like he was just in front. Fucking back, big V like that, good hips, legs, 6'3".
Yep.
Like a Fisher Harris sort of build, man. The upside's good.
Yep.
So I'm Cleary and Thompson.
There you go. So
I like it.
So if you put together right now, currently how their contracts are put together, you probably have Cleary that's currently on like 1.3 million, right?
Yeah.
And then you get a cheaper front row who's ascending, like a Leo Thompson who might be on maybe 300,000. That's 1.6 on the cap. Or you go an $800,000 front row currently, Payne Haas, and an $800,000 750 half in Chad Townsend.
It got me thinking last week, even when I said Payne Haas and Reynolds, and I'm like, I might retract that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Reynolds, I didn't want to disrespect Reynolds, but he's fucking top 3 halfback.
Yeah.
He dominates the game. Like it looks like it's really slow for him at the moment. Like he's playing kiddies. He's going, let's get me to the semi-finals. Like so like you get a gun best 7 and you like that Leo Thompson's upside. You know, like he's got good leg speed, he hits hard, he gets good minutes. I like him.
Yeah, I love him. Speaking of value of front rows, let's get on to the main topic of the week. It dropped just after we filmed the episode last week. Tino Fa'asuamaleaui and David Fifita have re-signed. The Titans have locked in superstar forwards David Fifita and Tino Fa'asuamaleaui in a major coup for the club, with incoming coach Des Hasler playing a major role, pardon me. Fifita was already signed until the end of 26, and Fa'asuamaleaui had mutual options for 25 and 26. The Titans confirmed on Friday that Fifita had extended until the end of 26 now, but that's a re-upped contract. That's more money than what he was on, whilst Fa'asuamaleaui will remain on the Gold Coast for the next decade. So the Titans will fork out $15 million for the pair, with Fa'asuamaleaui to earn $12 million over 10 years, and Fifita will go 3 for 3.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. They're two of the best young forwards in the game.
Pros and cons. Let's get into it. You have to pick. They're both really good contracts.
Yeah.
But I think there are pros and cons for both club and player.
Yep.
Which contract do you like better?
As I was saying before, there's a lot of nuances in this. Like, I'm not sure about their upbringing. I'm not sure if they're coming from money. Usually,
let's say this is you.
Me?
You get offered a 3-year deal for
Just
$3
say if I'm
million.
23,
Right
24.
now, they're both 23, 24, or you get 12 million over 10. Which would you prefer?
I think I'd back myself because I know the cap would go up. I'd do what Fifita's doing.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not sure. I know Tino's going to be there for 10 years. I don't know if a halfback's going to be there for 10 years. I don't know if a centre. I don't know. I'm not sure if we're going to have the requisite players for me to win a comp.
Yep.
You know, so I'm going to go for 3 years, get to 25. His salary cap's going to go up again because he's on about 1.1 mil a year.
Yep.
And Tino's going to average 1.2 a year.
Yes.
1.2 a year.
10 years, yep.
So just say the cap, like Tino could be worth, just saying 4 or 5 years, like Tal Malala I thought was worth 1.4 when he was on a mil. I reckon they were underpaying him in his prime, 2017.
Yep.
You know, but to feel safe, you're going to go for that 10-year deal. But if it's me, I'm going to go Fifita.
And bank on yourself.
And just go, I'm going to go this. I'd sign a 3-year deal, get to 26 for another 3-year deal, and another 3-year deal. That the cap and his ceiling is so high, he could probably demand like 1.4, 1.5 because of the cap. It's going to be going up and up and up, really.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's the way I'd think of it.
All right. I'm going Tino. 10 years. What that does is, for me, obviously $12 million is a lot of money.
It's fucking generational money, man.
It's generational money for Tino, for myself, because I'm not being Tino. I'm growing up myself. You can make a lot of great decisions moving forward with that sort of money, right? Yeah. You can invest.
Yes.
You can put it into houses. And what it does too that's still a lot of money, right? So 1.2, he's worth 1.2 now. I would say it's close to probably what his value was for all the clubs anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, the salary cap might go up, but that's still a lot of money and it's still really good money.
Huge, yeah.
And then what you do get off the back of that, being a skipper, is you give your club and franchise the freedom to then go out and recruit players because everyone knows who their key captain is, right? So if you're a half coming, you look at what Adam Reynolds has done at the Broncos. Great work from Ren, right? Ren would have had maybe a couple of options leaving South Sydney. He would have looked up at the Broncos and go, fuck, they got some talent up there. Got a good couple of front rowers. They've got a good young up and coming back. They've got some power in the outside backs. I look at the Titans. Geez, I like the look of Fifita in the back row. I like the look of Mo Fotuaika if we can keep that. If I'm a half right now, let's throw out the Ben Hunts of the world. I'm looking at that going, Tino's locked in, Dave's locked in. The last little piece you need is now a half.
Do you think?
And then that way, if you're signed those big years, then you're able to go, these players that he's going to play rep footy with, and they get into Origin camps, and they start talking.
When you start recruiting, Gal started doing that.
Now he can recruit.
How do you think Gal got Louis and all those other guys?
Yep.
Let me think this. Just say Tino has not won a grand final or won Origins and World Cups. Would he? Because I think he's done everything in the game already.
Yep.
So now it's like, you know what? I'm cashing in. I'm happy at the Titans. I can be here for 10 years. What if he hadn't won a premiership or a World Cup? David Fifita hadn't won that yet.
If he retires right now, he's
done.
His care's still a success.
It's fucking Hall of Fame career. You know what I mean? Like, and I think maybe that all those factors come in. His family's from there. He's got a beautiful child. He's happy as hell. Like, I remember talking to Tino over the last 3 months to see where his head was, and he's like, he's probably not going to leave because there was rumours that he might come down to Sydney. And he's like, he was never ever going to come to Sydney because obviously money talks, but like these guys obviously come to the party, right?
Yep.
But I was thinking, if he didn't win a premiership, if he hasn't won a World Cup and 3 Origins, do you sign a 10-year deal? This is the perfect time for him.
Sorry, Luke, in 2013, the National Rugby League salary cap was set at $5.85 million.
Yeah.
25 players on a club's roster.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
That was the year I went to the grand final, Leaky. And
2013 was 5 mil.
And I was on 50K of that 5.85.
Yeah, exactly. Well, even like just say what was the salary cap in 2004? It was like 3.2 mil.
Yeah.
Rennie was on 15 grand. Rennie Matua, Sonny Bill, like they were on nothing. Like these kids deserve everything they get. But I think, like me, I was just playing 3.25.
There you go.
I was only on 500. Fuck. I just think I was just playing sort of like one of us had to go for each other. There's bonuses with everything, right?
For sure, pros and cons.
There's pros and cons with everything. Like I'd feel more comfortable signing Tino to a 10-year deal than I would Fifita.
100%.
Because of the captaincy, the leadership, the security. I mean, just the consistency, what he puts in, everything like that. Where I know Fifita, if he reaches his potential, could be one of the best forwards to ever play the game.
Yep.
But they would be thinking, I don't want to sign him on 10 years. I want to do the 3-year deal.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if the 3 years come from his end or their end.
Yeah, I don't think they would. Yeah, I don't think they would have offered him a 10-year deal.
I'll tell you why you're offered Tino. This is why I'm the Titans and I'm stoked with 10 years for 12 mil. When obviously the relationship with Munster. So after they won the worst Queensland team ever, won the 2020 series, they partied up in Byron. Remember, it was at the end of the series. So I flew up to Byron, went and hang out with my mate, partying with the boys. There was a couple
Big T there. Big T there.
A couple of people were missing. Ches had commitments, family commitments, so the skipper wasn't there. But Tino didn't go. Why didn't Tino go? Because it was his first year at the Titans. It was his first year at the Titans, and he just wanted to get straight into the facilities, go and meet everyone.
Love that.
And he wanted to get to training and just to show everyone that he was fully committed to
I can't
the
speak
Titans.
highly enough of that kid. I've had a few talks on that with him. He's an impressive young man. He's the guy that you want to build your club around.
Yeah.
Fifita is like, he's got a lot of talent, but he's not captain material. He's not the face of your franchise. Tino is good-looking cat. He's a family man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's a glamour.
Yeah, like he plays the game hard. You want to build that around him. Fifita can he's got so much upside, but he still needs to prove himself. Tino's put 4 years of fucking top 5 forward in the game.
Yep. Top 5 front row.
Where Fifita is like, if he touches that, if he gets near that ceiling in the next 3 years, he could be anything.
He eclipses everyone but Kickow.
Yeah.
Really. And Kicks is having a down year this year with injury and form, but on pure potential size, how damaged they can be, it's Kicks and Fifita when they're on, and a distant third.
Regardless, well done to the Titans on securing both, because there was a lot of big fish around for both these guys.
For sure.
So it says a lot about the Titans, says a lot about Des.
It reeks Des, doesn't it? 10-year deal.
Des, 10-year backhander. I think Chocky Watmare's still getting paid.
Love you, Chock.
Love you, Chocky. You know that.
All right, moving on to topic 2, which is NRL Vegas. So the teams have been announced. Broncos, Rabbitohs, Roosters and Manly. Lukey, you put Rabbitohs twice. So that's Broncos, Rabbitohs, Roosters and Manly.
And Levels.
And Levels. We'll be there. What's the name of the pool party there?
We do Encore Pool Party. Live from the Encore Pool Party.
That's what we're going to be
Levels Network.
So you'd probably think that Roosters and Rabbitohs will obviously play each other over there. And then you got Manly and Broncos. There's been a bit of discussion in around those teams. I think they're the perfect representation. You had to have Rabbitohs and Manly due to Russell Crowe and Hugh Jackman, who are massive parts of both clubs. And then
we're not hanging with Snoop Dogg. We're kidding.
We'll get
South jersey. I'll put a South jersey on. I'll put a rabbit on.
Yeah.
I'll put a rabbit on.
Snoop Dogg.
Come on, Russell. You know that.
Have I ever told you my yarn when we met up with him over in London? So we
tell that.
Yeah, so this is for those of you who don't know this story. So we went over to a good friend of mine, Luke Burgess. We were living together in France, and then we caught up. And we were going to catch up in London for a night out, and also with the great Flash, Mark Flanagan. Anyway, we get to a hotel, and at that time, Luke Burgess's nickname's Biffa. Biffa was catching up with Russell because he was retiring that year, and he was going to come back and do some stuff for South. So they had a bit of a meeting, early meeting in the morning for a coffee. Anyway, so we caught up after. As we're sitting there having a coffee, getting ready to figure out what we do in London, Russ sends Biffa a message, and he goes, "Do you want to come get lunch with us?" And Biffa asked me, and I was like, "Why are you asking me for? Of course we want to go get of course I want to go get lunch with Russell Crowe." Anyway, so there's a few details that happened on the trip, but I'll tell you one. So we get down, we go to this beautiful restaurant in Chelsea, London. It's everything's as clean as fuck there. It's like there's not even a smudge on a window of these little townhouses that we're walking past. Anyway, we go into this little cafe or a restaurant that it looked like it was almost like a secret door that led into it, right? And then and it's a beautiful Italian restaurant. I forgot the name of it. Anyway, so we both sit down, we're having a feed. We go around, we order our food. Me and Russell both ordered the exact same meal, the Veal Bosco, right? So I have no idea everyone starts acting a bit like apprehensive after a while, getting a little bit nervous. Anyway, I've smashed my feed. We're sitting there having drinks, wine's going, beer's going. Russell hasn't touched his. He's had a dip of it, and that's it. He hasn't touched it, and he's sitting there just drinking. I think he's even having a couple of darts. Maybe I can vaguely remember him having a dart, having a smoke. So the waiter comes over, and as he comes and they come to clear some entrees and that, they go, "Oh, Mr. Crow, sorry, is there something wrong with your food?" He goes, "Don't worry about it." Like, so then everyone goes, "Ooh," it's like everything started to get a little bit tense. And I've looked down, right, because me and him, only me and him have ordered the same thing.
Yeah.
Everyone else is smashing their feeds. And so he was with his best mate that he grew up with, his right-hand man. So he goes to him, "What's wrong? Food no good?" And he goes, "It's a bit dry," right? So in my head, I just finished going to Biffa. I was going, "This is the fucking best feed ever." I had no idea, right? So the manager comes out. The manager goes, "Mr. Crow, is there anything we can we'd like to replace your meal. Is there anything else on the menu?" He goes, "Don't worry about it. It's all right. Relax." Like really calm, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there going, "Ooh, this is fucking like, I don't know what to do." I feel sorry for the waiter and the manager.
Chef's shitting
but
himself.
It's fucking Russell Crowe, and I ain't saying no one's saying shit at the table.
Eat up, champ.
So we start like kicking each other under the table, right? Because like Biff was like, "Fuck, this is getting tense." The owner comes out and go, Mr. Crow, don't worry, the feed's on us. You won't have to pay for it. Like he was trying to cancel. He goes, "Don't worry about any of the food. Just pay for the drinks. That's all good. Like we're not going to charge you for food for anything, right?" Russ just goes like a fucking proper dog, whips out this big wad of cash, flicks it. So over there he had all these fucking £100 notes. He not only paid for the meal, he gave him a massive tip because you could just see how fucking chunky it was. And he goes, "Honestly, don't overreact. It's all good. Don't worry." And that was
hell.
and that was it.
Did he even try? He tried a little bit, and it was just dry.
No, he just didn't like it. He goes, "Oh, it's a bit dry." He didn't like it.
He didn't even try it.
No, he tried it
a little bit.
Tried
Yeah,
it. He had
okay,
a scoop.
God.
Yeah, obviously the fucking
hell,
this is like top. This is a restaurant that obviously a lot of celebrities go to. At the other table, sitting there was. Have you seen The Last Samurai?
Yeah.
The main Asian guy from
I love him.
Escaping his name now.
I know who you're talking about.
Ken Watanabe, his name is.
Yeah.
Ken Watanabe. Like there were other actors sitting in this like I'm in shorts and a hoodie. You know how I dress? I dress like a proper degenerate. So I'm in a hat, a hoodie, and some normal shorts.
Did Russ have a massive beard?
Yes, massive beard, and he put on weight for this role. So he reckons. But yeah, it was a crazy story, crazy experience. We just
some fucking hilarious Russell Crowe stories.
I just chilled in fucking for 4 hours with Russell Crowe, like on a bye weekend, and that was my experience with Russell Crowe. So Russ, if
love
you listen to Levels, we love you, brother. Let's get together in Vegas and have a good time. Let's get on to reviewing the games now, mate?
Yeah, let's go.
Manly kicked us off versus the Panthers, 24-12. Manly went into this game with the mindset to throw caution to the win, OG. But after going up 12-6, I thought they should have got the call from the coaching staff. Let's change it up. So there's been a confirmation that the Ruben Garrick kick on the first tackle, going for that kicking duel with the Panthers. The coaches have talked about it before the game. So it was a plan, but at that point they were up 12-6 just before half time. I think the message should have come out to go, don't. We're actually going all right at the moment. Like there's no need to do this.
Silly. I was surprised at that, but I like the way Manly played.
Yeah.
When you, I think that was the sort of plan when you're playing against Melbourne in their prime. Really have a crack at them, both sides, shift for shift, and go through the middle, bang bang, kick.
Because you're not going to beat them.
Because you got to try. Yeah, you got to just try and beat them, try and move their middles around, and as hard as you can, a little bit of fatigue at the end. And they were doing that well against Panthers. You know what I mean?
They shifted the ball well.
They were shifting. They were catching the ball. They caught them out. They caught them out a few times. They should have just not. To beat these guys, you've got to do it for 80. Yeah. And you know, like the Melbourne teams back in their prime, they don't beat themselves.
Yes, so
so you got to be consistent, and you got to be willing to fucking just roll the sleeves up all game and be persistent and nail it. And if you're going to play that expansive fucking football, you've just got to stick to it. And then the middles, I think they run out of. the middles weren't really doing the job there.
Yeah,
they
and
started then because then Leota and like Fisher Harris started really dominating the ruck, and it was just like it was a bit hard.
Yeah,
for
their
them.
second stints were a lot better.
Yeah.
And I thought there were a couple of opportunistic tries. As for Panthers, they might have a little bit of a dip in the next couple of weeks leading in. They're all but sorted, them and Broncos. Like, are they just looking to bigger games at the moment, or how do you see their run home?
Who have they got on the run home? They got.
Let me get it up for you.
I don't. I just think they're just trying to. They're just trying to get like.
Just get there now?
Just get there. Like we're a top 4 team. Let's just keep winning.
Top 2 team.
Yeah.
As in like
2.
on the ladder.
We're already done. I mean, they're probably just going, let's just get through without getting injured. And
got
then
the
like
Titans.
they've got to start picking like when Tungo comes back.
Yeah.
You know, like
Keep going.
yeah, so when Tungo comes back, what happens there? Like you're gonna get the young kid Hoskins, he's gonna be probably going back to the bench.
Yep.
Peachy's gonna be back in 2 weeks. What do you do with him? Salmon's there. You know, like they're gonna have to start feel like this. They're gonna have to start making some hard decisions.
I think
Cleary does.
I think Salmon and Peachy will be fighting for that last
Yes.
bench spot.
That's what I mean. I said it a couple of weeks ago. Like that could put him behind. If Salmon has like a man of the match game, like he's not getting that many minutes, you know, and neither's Sony Luke. You know,
Yep.
like what if Mitch Kenny can bang out 70?
They missed Mitch Kenny through the middle.
Yeah.
Like
he's a gun.
That try that T. Sips scored that he just ran over that. That
Yeah.
young hooker went good in filling in for him.
But Mitch Kenny, he's a
Mitch
presence
Kenny's
in the
dog.
middle.
He is.
You know, so like when I heard he was out, and who else was out? Him and
Jerome.
Him, yeah.
Him and Romy.
And they still manage it easy, but yeah, he hits like he's one of the dudes who'll get you round here, and then Fisher Harris comes and cleans you up, and so's Leota.
It's his
like
line
a brutal
speed.
hitter.
You know what he does with his line speed? He shoots out of the line, and he might not necessarily hit you, but when he hits you,
He got you.
But if he misses you, what it does is
Throws
you
you
lose
off.
all your momentum, and then you spin around and turn around. By
And
the
guess
time
what?
you look up,
No, but you get caught.
Yes.
No, you get caught in double underhooks, and you get fucking driven back.
or even worse, you run into Leota.
That's what I'm saying. But like you might spin out or spin on the inside, and you get caught, and that's what they try and do. They'll try and just catch your momentum because he'll shoot out. That's what they do. One of them will shoot out.
Yep.
Oh, it'll be Fisher Harris, it'll be Yo, it'll be one of their middles trying to put you off a little bit, and that's what they do. Like, and then Mitch Kenny, his presence there like that on his kick chases and the play twos when they jam you in the corners, he's that dude. He's always there, and he hits you with bad intentions.
He does.
He does, and that's
Just
the
a
thing.
really simplified plan, isn't it?
What happens there if he? They'll miss him if he's injured. I'm not sure. Was he injured? What happened to him?
I think he
It's
had
a late
illness.
scratching, wasn't it?
I think he had an illness. Like I think he was crook. Yeah.
So then him and Salmon, like Peach and Salmon will be going for that because if you're going to put Kenny 65, 70, like you can put Peach there. He can play an easy 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes at 9.
Yeah,
And play anywhere in the middle and play anywhere in the back line. Where Salmon, he's going next year as well. So, like,
That's
I'm not
true.
sure, you're not really going to be fully invested in him.
That's
if
true.
you got a Sony Luke or if you've got a Peachy who's going to be there for the next couple of years. I don't know.
Yep,
Be hard.
Sonny
Be
Luke
hard.
extended to I think for a couple of years early on in the year. As for this has happened as well with Reid Marnie and Gamble. And then it happened obviously in the Manly game when Taruva scored and Vaanga come over the top. So twice. This is a pet peeve of mine, right?
Yeah. Just don't touch him.
I disagree. No, I disagree. I'm against it. So
Just not on the head. I mean, not on the head. I mean, you do like just even with Reid Marnie to touch these legs. Don't get up and act like a fucking idiot.
Well, no, but here's my point with it, Mace. Gamble and Taruva, if they don't want to get tackled late, right at the death,
Run around like that.
don't try to take it like. So
Yeah, I'm with
when
you.
Taruva made the break, he cut through. He was jogging next to Sony Luke. He seen Vaanga coming over. Vaanga was coming and clearly coming.
Yeah.
And it's not like he was blindsided. Reedy one was a little bit different. But in saying that, Reedy's a fucking dog. I love playing with those sorts of guys that don't give up on a play, right? If you don't want to get tackled and don't get hit,
Put it down.
Put the ball down.
I'm with you.
5 to 10 metres next to the sideline, or if you want to get it closer and you want to get under the post, take your fucking licks.
Yeah.
It's a real pet peeve of mine. I hate it when players get up and someone tackles them right at the end and hits their legs and they throw the ball at him and go, what are you doing?
I hated that when Reid Marnie did that and Gamble like threw the ball at him. Like,
Yeah.
what's Reid supposed to do? It's not like he jumped on him and elbowed him in the ribs and that. Like, he just tackled him around the legs.
Yeah.
Fuck, I wish he could just punch some people in the fucking head. I just look at that and just like, and you know, like then you get blokes like coming in and pushing like young Blake Wilson and all that. Oh,
You'd love to be
two
part of
piece
that.
just fucking straight on your chin. I would never. I'd cop 10 just to hit some of those blokes.
Yeah.
That's all you're going to get. Like gamble, especially. Like just you don't have to do that. He didn't do anything to you. It's just because you're at Newcastle and you've given us a bit of a towel up.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't. There's no bad. If there's bad intentions in it, you can do what you want, but don't do it just for fucking to start a little bit of an altercation.
Yeah.
I hate that shit. It's weak as piss.
Well, in saying that, my dog of the week, I forgot about it. It's Tyson Campbell.
Yeah, man, he's a good player. He
played well.
He's just got some shit in him. He's a fiery prick. I like it. I love the way he plays, but just you don't have to do that. That could have been anything.
I just disagree with that part of what happened in the game.
Just don't run around like a hero, get all the crowd going after you, and someone jumps on your little leg, and then you throw the ball at Reedy.
Put it down a couple of metres earlier.
Down.
Well, when you look at that game, we'll get to the Bulldogs in a bit before I get to my body science dog of the week.
Get it.
Mace, as a Bulldogs fan or you're a Bulldogs ex-player or, ambassador, when you look at that, you're like, we need more of that shit, don't give up on the plays. Don't let fucking people score easily. So let's go back.
So I'm more disappointed in the amount of people that didn't fucking jump in.
Yeah, for sure.
Little Reed Marnie and Blake Wilson get pushed around.
Yeah, I love that.
But I love that Blake Wilson. In saying that, it was a fair try.
Yeah. And that try was pretty good. And this is what else he did. 10 carries for 91 metres, 1 line break, 3 tackle breaks, 20 tackles, and 2 tries. But he also had 50% of the kick in, and I thought he showed really good composure after Hastings went off. So when Hastings went off, I thought...
Probably his best game, I reckon, ever in his career.
The best that I think the best that I've ever watched, because he's played really good games where he's been really energetic, gets in people's faces. Obviously, the Marnie incident is separate. But apart from that, he was pretty composed. He sort of found his little niche at the 6 there. He knows he's got KP at the back, so you don't have to overcomplicate it.
A decent team.
Tyson Gamble, he was my body science dog of the week. I missed that one before we moved on. So let's get back to reviewing the games. That's enough of Manly versus Panthers.
Yeah.
Sharks versus Titans.
Manly done? Manly's done?
Manly done.
They're done.
And Warriors will put the sword in the dagger in the...
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, whatever it is. I'm all for it.
End it.
Sharks versus Titans, 36-6. Sharks back up last week's performance, OG. Are they peaking at the right time?
Going all right. We wrote them off, 6 weeks ago?
Yep.
That win against South, man, that's the catalyst that could go on a decent run now.
Well, that performance for both teams is almost...
It's really fucking ruined one season. Because we said that, we're like, can Cronulla beat South? Like, that's a 50-50 game over there. But we were confident in South.
You were confident. I wasn't.
Yeah, but
I was
both going...
You picked Sharks. I
know. But I was just thinking, but when we said with Cronulla, when you said Cronulla were going to miss the 8, I'm like, when we went through those teams, it's like, that South game, we don't know what sort of South Sydney team's going to turn up. Is Latrell going to be in form? Like, they're not hitting it. Even though they did win on the weekend, but like the Sharks, to win that, they got their season back on track.
You know what? I got beef with Sharks fans, right? Because I go when we do this, I go out on a limb, right?
Yeah.
When you have the Sharks sitting at 4th and 5th, and you have them dropping out, you've got to You've got to go. Try to predict things, and
you were fucking close.
Who knows? We've still got 3 weeks to go. We'll see what happens. But don't message me after the fact.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I hate that. Like
now, after the South game, they would have come at you, right?
No, after the Titans game. Because they would have been a little bit nervous just in case, right? So I have people message me, maybe half a dozen Sharks fans. For whatever reason, we've got a lot of Sharks fans that follow us. And they're like, how about the Sharks, Skip? What about the ladder, Skip? I was like, where were you 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Like, don't give me that energy now.
Where were you after Manly?
Hey, you are Sharks fans.
Yeah.
If you had some fucking brass nuts about you, if you have some dog in you, you would have messaged me 2 weeks ago and go,
we're still good.
Not one Sharks fan messaged me and went, we're going to stick it. We're going to make it. You're sleeping on us. Now they get 2 in a row.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
No.
No, you can't message me. You cannot message me when you've won 2 in a row. Message me before that, and I respect it. But you know what they've done, Mace? They've just gone back to high completion footy. Nico's working down those short sides. He's putting the kick in, and it's about time. Like it's not
Nico,
about time.
It's the Nico Hines show, right? He was down a little bit after Origin, and he's the key to that side. He's the heart and soul of that side, and they go off his energy. If he's not on, they're not on. Wade Graham was good too.
Yeah, Wade was good.
Shout out to got a try. He's got a nice try, little holy hit there. He was good. His leadership is really showing. it's taking a little bit of pressure off. You
Yeah.
know, they had that the young kid Teague Hilton there,
Teague Wilton.
and then Teague Wilton, and then you had the other guy in
Jesse
front of
Calhoun.
him, and now you put the OG back on that left edge. He's got the silky skills. He's got he's one of the most talented back rowers to play the game.
You know who's played well the last couple of weeks, and this is his opportunity
Jesse
now.
Ramian?
Jesse Raymond's being. I love Jesse.
I've always been a big
fan of Jesse Ramian.
I know you're going to say
Trindle.
yes.
Yeah.
And I think he just needed to be match fit.
Yeah.
He just needed to go after it. His ball skills, and I think he's finding his feet later in the year. He's getting a little bit more match fit.
Yep.
Because when he got thrown in there with Moylan, they were going awful that left edge anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they thought he was going to come in there and fix it defensively.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, he just got thrown a fucking curveball there. But now he's starting to get, he's understanding the timing off Nico Hines. Still going to miss Kennedy. I think he's a big loss. But the other young kid who's playing there at the
I'm
moment.
blank right now. Connor
Watson. Connor
Watson.
Watson.
What's his name?
Something Connor. Good kid. Runs the ball back.
Fuck, I'm having the biggest blank right now. Where is it?
Is it Connor something, mate?
I'm sure it's Connor.
Feel bad. Sorry,
Tracy.
mate. Tracy
Connor
Connor.
Tracy.
That's a fucking hard name to remember. Connor Tracy. Double first name.
Let's call him Tracy Connor.
Yes, Tracy Connor. So Trindle, he's coming into his own.
He's 24
left
years
edge.
old. He's in his 4th year. If there's ever an opportunity
Yep.
for him, because Nico Hines is going to be on big money, I think he's re-signed for
Moylan's
3
gone.
years. I think Moiser has one more year. But Moiser could find himself in that 14 or next role because for whatever reason, defensively,
Yep.
that left edge was really struggling for a long period. Trindle come in. It didn't stop the first week, but they've seemed to have sorted it out the last
Trindle just
couple of
needs
weeks.
a massive preseason, get his body right, get in tip-top condition and get the best out of himself because he's got talent.
Yep.
He just needs to be playing full-time first grade because Moylan was keeping him out for like 3 years pretty much and he was coming in and out just through injury and that. He wasn't really like solidifying himself as that dude. Now he's that dude, so good luck to him.
Yeah, in the last couple of years he's played, so in and out of games.
Yeah.
Some of them been off the bench,
Out of
but he's
position.
played like 18, 15 games.
He's got the talent. I just think, you put the 6 on his back and just go, this is your edge.
You and Nico, let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
go.
see what you got for the
Yep.
next couple of years at least. Moving on to the Broncos versus Eels, they're a lot more settled. They win 54 to 10.
Titans done.
Titans are done.
I know they were done, but what do you think of them?
Well, I just thought they were really flat. They played with 12 men for 60 minutes last week against the Warriors, and I think that really had an effect on them. They looked flat from the. If it wasn't
From
for
the
Tino
fucking-
and Dave Fifita just getting paid their massive deals and running hard, outside of that, no one
They
really
didn't
stood
have
up for them.
Tino. Like Tino's stat. If they had been a bit closer, Tino was closer to dog of the week.
Yeah, Tino was good.
He's been out for 3 weeks. He just keep going with this one. I was trying to find his stats because they were ridiculous.
Yeah.
With the Bronx and Eels.
The Broncos are flexing at the right moment. The Eels looked overwhelmed right from the start. The ceiling for the Broncos is not even close, in my opinion, Mace.
Yeah, they are dangerous, man.
Do you want me to get it?
54-10.
54-10.
Yeah, I got it. That's unbelievable, man. It's a young kid Walsh, man. The amount of when it's even man on a shorts of a 6-4 split, he's getting you.
Yeah.
Because he's just burning the A and B, and like Staggs is just hitting outside the 3-man. Oh man, it's great to watch.
It's the shape. So I got it for you, bro. 19 carries, 214 meters,
Jesus.
76 post contact as well.
68 minutes played.
1 line break,
Tino.
8 tackle breaks.
Yeah.
What does that keep coming up as well? But yeah, just a big
just
game. I want to see his
proper-
tackles. 29 tackles as well. Shit, look at all the missed tackles in this team.
Yeah, it's awful.
6 Jaden Campbell, 6 Brian Kelly, 6 Kieran Foring, 6 Tanner Boyd,
me.
5 Randall,
What is it, 50?
5
What's the all up?
Fasul Malaawi, 5 for Fifita, 5 from Isaac Leo. They're all their
What?
best players.
It's too much.
Well, that sums up the score, right?
Billy Walters, right? I didn't even read the notes, and I was just going to give him a rap.
Yeah.
I said before,
said
it
last
reminds
week,
me of just when you got a star-studded pack, things start to open up. You know, they're going to start the A and B markers will start trying to get out the Payne Haas, trying to get him early, the Carrigans, Flegler's, all that kind of stuff, trying to check and release to get out the back to Reynolds, and they just leave the 9 open. Little fucking dummy, boom, boom, boom.
You got Ezra Mam sitting on the left short
Love that
side,
kid,
4x4. Love it. Ezra Mam. My man,
My
Ezra.
man. Your man.
You got Paddy Harrigan
My
in
man.
the front line, sitting ready to go with the ball. Ran out the back, Walsh
Yeah.
out the back of that, Cobbo on the wing, Tony Staggs, my guy on a Friday night. That's what I want to be hitting, Katonis. And
Hunter Mariner on the other old Hunter Mariner on the left wing.
old Hunter on the left wing
Jeez.
scoring 3 of the best.
Far out.
And then you forget about little Billy Walters through the middle.
Yeah, they do. They forget about him. Bad defense by Parra when he scored that try. Bang, bang. They just, like, I think it was Madison turning in. Like, he should always shoulders forward. He should never be going like that. That was bad. But that forward pack looks scary. And if they play like this, they're going to win the comp. I think they've got the. I think they've got it.
So do I.
I really think I'm going to go out now, and I'm just going to say Brisbane are going to win the comp.
Ooh, that's a big call. So while she had 4 errors, but like it felt like every single one of those errors are just a massive release to Parramatta.
Yeah, he's
like when he's coming at him, like
bad,
he comes up with so much shape. Like he might drop a ball, and then Parra just go from.
He's got that, like when he's attacking short side. So when he's like, just say if it's just to the post here and he's sitting on the open side and then he just drifts slowly, like he just makes that move slowly, like Billy Slater's and the Brett Stewarts and all that. They middles shit themselves, edge players shit themselves, and he's got that presence and he flies. He's not. If you are not putting your if you're not putting your body in front, or you want to go half-hearted on that little dude, he's going to make a line break.
Yeah.
Then he's got the skill set to hit long and to hit short.
Play short, offload.
Great defensive player as well. He's about it, man. He's a dog. They're impressive, man. And old Ren Diggity, 1,000 goals.
How good. Congrats to Ren. So the GOAT, he finished up on 1295. So Ren needs 295. Probably not going to get it. You think he's going to be around for the next 5 years? It just shows, right? 1,000 goals, Ren. He's number 2 on the list.
Yeah.
Number 1 is Cameron Smith.
Like, what did Haslam kick? He wasn't even on the list. But why did he score so many points?
I had it.
Because he scored 150 tries.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, he kicked a lot of goals as well. But I think just the longevity of both of them.
Right.
How long was
Haslam's
that?
played 330 games, man.
Wait a minute. Why did let me see. Let me just.
But he scored 150 tries.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't have got him to 1,000 goals. Something like, because I looked at the top, like just say 5, and he wasn't in that. And I was like, shit. I was surprised.
I had it up today. Here we go. The list. So Jason Taylor. Yeah, where is he?
He's not there. He's probably like, he's in the top 10. Yeah.
He's 7th.
But I think he's still the greatest goal kicker of all time.
He was so good,
easily.
man. Haslam was like,
he's the best.
So let's go through. This is a fun little game. Ooh, some good names in here too. Your life's on the line.
Haslam El Masri.
Brown Bread.
Yeah.
Cam Smith, Adam Reynolds, Jason Taylor, Thurston, Andrew Johns, Jared Croker, Haslam El Masri, Mick Cronin, Darryl Halligan, and Graham Eadie is the 10.
In Haslam El Masri all day.
I'd love to see
all day, and then I reckon Reynolds.
I wish I had the percentage. There's percentages in there. You know what? I worry about Ren. As much as Ren's a great kicker, but you know there've been games.
Who'd be second then?
You know there've been games where it's like Ren's only a little fella. You know he's missed a distance or fallen short because he just doesn't have that fucking oomph sometimes. Like not every time, but
I played
1,000 goals.
The Chook was the goal kicker. So I was lucky. I was blessed to play with. So Chook was Darryl Halligan's the OG.
Played with Chook.
So he was a winger when I first debuted, and then Haslam El Masri took over. So every time it was a try, it was always the 6. Andrew Johns. I played with Andrew Johns and Joey.
Thurston.
Thurston. Cam Smith was kicking when we were playing tests. So all of them.
Fuck, you played with some.
Yeah, jeez.
I will go. Fuck.
It'd be good if they did have the accuracy and the percentage. Because
Yeah,
I reckon,
percentage.
I think Haslam's got that.
Haslam's 82.
Yep.
82%.
Haslam's 82. 82%. Reynolds is 80%. What's Cam Smith? I'm going Cam Smith.
Yeah.
Just because it's just like.
Cam Smith is probably because he played in the middle and he played 80 minutes every game and he still had composure to sit there and kick a goal on the sideline to win the game.
Around 70 to 75. This is all according to ChatGPT.
70.
Yeah. Haslam's a sharpshooter, man. He never missed.
Despite those stats, give me Cam.
Yeah.
Give me Cam. Let us know, punters, who would you like? All right, moving on. Congrats, Ren, 1,000 goals. What an achievement. Still plenty more to come. The Rabbitohs versus the Dragons, 26-14. The Rabbits, again, find themselves in a bit of a battle, OG.
Yeah, right, man. God, don't disrespect the Dragons. Don't disrespect the Dragons like that. They're all right. They're not bad.
They had a few outs too, though. They had Lomax out. They had... who else was out? Jack Bird was out. A few of their middles.
They still had a crack. Yeah, I'm slowly just sort of off the Rabbits lately. They're just not getting it done. Like, just doesn't look as silky, you know. Like a couple of good touches from Latrell here and there. Like AJ, I think AJ's he's playing outstanding. Got a double. Losing big Tom Burgess, man. Just that big body through the middle. I think Totola's still out.
Yep, Totola's out for the season.
Jai Arrow's their best forward.
Yep.
And he's not a big man.
Cam Murray would be the best.
Yeah. Well, Cam Murray's a lot, but he's not like... So you need those big boys. We talked about props before. You know, can they go at it? Can they go at Penrith? Can they go at Brisbane? Can they go to the Warriors?
Well, I'll throw this at you. Right, when Sharks went in that dip, who didn't they have? Hamlin Ueli.
And look at him now. Hamlin Ueli is a gun.
And Toby Rudolph.
Yep. Now look.
They missed big chunks of footy when they were going on that losing streak, didn't they? How important? So the value of front rowers, man.
That's why they're getting over the mill.
Nelson Asafa Solomona, when he doesn't play, they look a different team at Melbourne, even though he's playing back row now.
So the Rabbits, who are they starting front rows? You get they're rolling with Sele sometimes. The Harvilles comes on and he fits in somewhere. Tom's suspended, obviously.
Yeah, Tom's suspended. Totola's out of the
moment. Jai Arrow's the 8.
Jai Arrow's 8, and they've also got Davey Moale as well.
You know, it ain't the best pack. Host as the other back rower, and then Kaloa Matangi and Cam Murray. It's not the biggest pack. It's a good pack. It's a good pack. It's very well balanced, and they're fit and highly skilled. But if you don't have those two bookends just destroying teams, like I think when Tom Burgess there, he needs. If you had Tom Burgess and Totola, then you're talking. Then you got Kaloa Matangi, Jai Arrow, and then you got Cam Murray. That's a better pack. That's the best. It's one of their better packs
for sure. And I think when Tom Burgess comes back, he provides that X factor. I will say though, is this a concern? Not a concern, or they would have liked to have had this back. Souths, the last 3 games: Tamworth, Perth, and Cairns.
Yeah, yuck. It's taking its toll. This is the travelling.
People don't understand.
Living out of your suitcase, not sleeping in your own bed. You come back. Like they'll be back this week. I think who are they playing this week?
They're playing at.
But they're playing in Sydney, right?
They're back in Sydney
so the
now
road
to finish
trip,
off.
the road trips are done. You know, then they can finally get in there. You just get back into consistency and back into the routine because living in and out of hotels like.
Oh, they got Newcastle, so they're gonna have to travel again.
Traveling again, even though you're still traveling the night before, right? You don't travel the game day.
You know what you do at all those trips as well? What's at all those trips?
Shit food, diets all over the place. You know, you're not eating your normal food, even though you're trying to stay on top of it. But that's where the S&C and the dietitian and all that kind of stuff. So you're eating, even after you just say you're playing on Saturday or Sunday. The Saturday you go out for dinner. There's a lot of passes, a lot of food. Then you usually go into the 7-Eleven. You're fucking eating chips and all that sort of stuff. I'm saying not everyone.
Gaming.
Yeah, some game. Your sleeping patterns are all out. And they're still managing to win, right? They're 2 or 3 from that little road trip.
No, they lost. They are 2. But they just scraped by.
Yeah, they haven't been just fucking nailed like we think they can.
Yeah.
Next 3 games, very important. Dragons, this is what I expect from the Dragons. They're just trying to upset pricks.
Yep. Knights, they go Knights by Roosters to finish off. Rabbitohs.
Knights will be hard.
Knights will be really hard.
Knights up there, mate. It was good atmosphere.
Yeah.
For Rabbit and the Rabbits fans travel too.
You know what I reckon's hurt the Rabbitohs at the start of the year. Obviously, their middle's been out for an extended period of time, but at the start of the year, remember how good their right edge was going? Kaloa Matangi, Campbell Graham. Kaloa Matangi gets injured going into Origin, misses about 10 weeks. Felt like.
Yeah.
Campbell Graham after Origin does his sternum. So for people
during
that don't know,
Origin, just before, remember you missed out
game 1.
Yeah,
that's why I had to pull out. Right, I fractured my sternum 1 year in the under-20s, and I come back after a couple of weeks. It fucking sucked all year. It wasn't until the end of the year that I'd finished playing, and that was in like round 3 I got it.
Yeah.
And for me, because I was a taller edge back rower, just like Campbell Graham, you watch Campbell Graham defend. He's a really good defender, but what he does, he uses his size and he bear hugs people too, right? So when you're running in and you're hitting that fucking fracture that still hasn't fully repaired.
I remember I did my sternoclavicular, which is like the sternum and your clavicle right there, and it was fractured. I had to play with it the whole year.
Yeah,
and get it needled. It was awful.
Yeah,
yuck.
I remember I got needled up. This is under 20s too. So Jimmy Dimmick, our coach on under 20s, got needled up, fucking hit it a couple of times. How does it feel? Because the game before I got hit and fucking had to come off.
It feels good when you're doing it.
And he goes, yeah, he goes, you're going to be all right? Because he used to put me under pressure all the time. He's like, you're going to be all right? You're going to be sweet? And I said, yeah, sweet. Bang, ran out there like 3 tackles in.
That's the worst, isn't it?
I went down.
You feel like you can run through a fucking brick wall.
At half time, he comes, you know, when the coach walk in, they come see me. Come on, you said you're going to be all right. I was like, fuck. Sorry, Jimmy.
I thought so. You did needle me, and I couldn't feel shit.
It felt good until after fucking I ran out there and I go, oh shit, that needle's starting to go away already.
Wear off second half. It's awful.
All right, let's move it on to the Tigers versus the Warriors. Anything else on that? Rabbitohs versus Dragons?
Nah.
Dragons bit of fight. Anything
Rabbits
else?
just need to consistency. Like they really need to put the Newcastle away.
With the bye coming up, going to the Roosters. Yep. All right, Tigers versus the Warriors. Tigers gave the Waz a little scare OG. Yeah. Warriors haven't come out of the bye as expected. Tough game against the Titans last week. And now they back it up with another tough performance against the Tigers team. Both teams, they were probably expected to beat well, especially the Titans game, considering they had 12 men for 60 minutes. How do you see the form of the Warriors at the moment?
I think I'm not scared. You know, like I think they're just playing to the level of competition, right? They just, you know, the Titans are up for it, and the Tigers are up for it. You know, they're fighting for their pride and everything. That's just because they've had bad years. Like you're going into these last 4 games, as I said, like some are off contract. You're playing for your career.
Tigers have shown a lot of
Tigers have got some balls, man. They're trying for playing for a contract next year. You know, so there's a lot of nuances that people don't understand. Just because you've had a really shit year, just this last four games, for some of these people could be like 10 players playing for contracts. Yep. You're playing for your livelihood, so you're going to put everything out. So you're going to play against the Warriors. You're going to put everything in. You're going to put everything into the Warriors. You know, the Warriors are just doing enough to win. You know, if the Warriors were playing against the Panthers, then you can understand.
Again, with regards Titans in Gold Coast, they play the Tigers in Hamilton, Waikato.
Yeah.
So they get a chance to go home. Oh, yeah. Cracking.
Can't wait for this week.
Couple of streakers. It's going to be pumping at Mount Smart. I can't wait for it. Plus, we get to see Manly again. I think we'll message Snakey. We'll catch up with the Snake as well, eh?
Oh, be over there? Yes. Yeah. Oh, Snakey will great. 100% we will.
Yeah. I thought Dane Laurie's been all right in the 60s.
He was outstanding.
Yeah. So
outstanding. I was off him a couple of weeks ago.
Well, so he played well against the Dragons, which you missed.
Yeah.
Then he come out and had a stinker. Who'd they play? Maybe the Rabbitohs?
Yes. And he just come in, like, defensively, he was really bad.
Yep. All right. So he had a bad game for sure. But I thought he's been pretty good in the 6 jersey considering.
Yep.
And he could be a nice little 14 option for the Panthers next year.
He is quick and powerful, man. When he's on, like, I just want to see him run the ball. Like a couple of things that he did. Like he nearly won in the game.
Yeah, he did.
If they didn't shut him down and take him serious, he was taking them on the inside shoulders and everything like that. He was breaking them apart. He's nice dangerous.
He set up the Papali'i try, and then he set up the Luke Brooks try back straight after.
He is, man. I don't know what he is.
I don't think he's a 6 either, eh?
Not a 6. He's a fullback.
Yeah.
But what do you do with the young kid Buller? And what do you do next year with Dylan Edwards? Like, do you put him at 14? Like, I don't know. I'm not sure.
14, yeah.
He just needs to just keep playing like that. He looked good.
Yeah. Yeah, Warriors will be sweet. On to them next week.
Not worried.
Roosters versus Dolphins. They win 30-14. The Roosters get the win, but the Dolphins showed grit again.
Yeah.
The Race Stone sin binning was really soft. Uncle Wayne was furious.
What was that on?
With the hip. So you missed this game, didn't you?
No, I watched it.
Yeah. So that's when Mudders Hutchinson got cut around the legs, and then he got clipped over the top.
Yeah, it was nothing.
There was nothing in it. Nothing in it.
A couple of things that the refs are really just fucking pissing a lot of players off, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think not players. I think fans.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So supporters, like they're just like, what are you doing? So they get a little bee in their bonnet, even like last week, just sending people off, like just for a fucking high shot. You know, their shoulders to the head. Right. Just be consistent, like their shoulders to the head, send them off. But that was nothing, man. They're gritty, but the Dolphins.
Yeah.
They go at it.
The Roosters probably deserved to win, and you probably were going to win all the time, but fuck the Dolphins, just hang in there.
Yeah. And that's the DNA of the club. That's going to be there forever now.
Yeah.
Because that's their debut season. They would have had all these things written out, what we want to be known as. They'll be disappointed they didn't make the 8.
Yeah.
You know, if they didn't fall off so bad,
a few injuries. They just couldn't afford to have any injuries at all.
Soft tries, but like with Hutchison going through, like just like
made him. Yeah, shout out to
mate. He probably played his best game ever.
Yeah. He was good.
He was really good.
So does that create a bit of a head noise for Coach Robinson, Mace? Sammy Walker returned to New South Wales Cup. He had 20-plus runs for 135 metres, and he set up a couple of tries as well. Do the Roosters bring Sammy Walker back in, or does he play another couple of weeks? What's the plan for Sammy Walker?
Well, he won't be playing this week because of Hutchison's performance.
You reckon?
Yeah. I think they'll be a little bit. I think they're off him. I think they're off. I think they're off Walker, and you'll see this week. I'm not sure. Like, reserve grade is a big difference. I expect him to do that in reserve grade.
Yep. So do I.
It's a big level drop there. It'll be interesting to see if what they do. If they put him in the extended bench, are they thinking of him, or is they play another He's not a reserve grader. He's a first grader. And if they were fair dinkum about keeping him and making a decent run, they'd be putting him in the team somewhere.
Yep. So we'll see, The next couple of weeks could determine the future for Sam.
Yeah.
All right. We'll wait and see how that comes out. We'll have the teams by the time we do preview on Wednesday. No. So looking forward to it.
Marshall King, what did he do?
Yep, Jeremy Marshall King. So he's had this chronic shoulder problem for a while now, and even Gus was saying in the coverage that it dates back to the Bulldogs. Yeah. He's going to get surgery. He's out, which is
that sucks.
He is having a great season. At the start of the year when they were exceeding expectations, he was a big reason. He also misses out on the Kiwi side. So I got hit with this one while I was doing SEN. Jimmy Smith.
Right, I liked it.
Did you see it?
I liked it.
Do you like my team?
Yeah, I like it.
So for those who haven't seen it.
But I just don't know what's with the Clockstad. I don't know. You're going to put him at left centre because he was awful last year.
So for SEN, I did Crunch Time on Sunday with Jimmy Smith. He asked me, what is your spine right now? You've got to pick between Jerome Hughes, Dylan Brown, and of course the form player of the competition right now. You said Reece Walsh before.
Oh, yeah.
It'd probably be Sean Johnson.
Johnson's got the Dally M, I think.
Yep. Who are you going and why? Who would you pick? Did you like my
I like that.
selections?
I just don't know what I was going to do at fullback because I think Shans has been playing outstanding this year.
So you would move Joey from fullback to centre now that Chance is playing better at fullback, or would you leave Joey at fullback?
I would put Jerome Hughes in that team somewhere.
Yeah.
But I reckon maybe even 5'8" and have Dylan Brown come off the bench.
Okay, so if you were to pick a team today, Shawnee at half, lock, then you're trying to figure out the six, and you're probably going to go.
I think I'll go Jerome Hughes,
Yep, and Dill Brown at 14.
Dill Brown 14,
fullback,
and then Joey Manu. I just need him touching. I just need him to get the ball more than because in some test games, he can sit on that edge all game and the ball's not going out there.
Yeah.
I just need him to get the ball and get 20+ touches because something's going to happen. Here's
my thing with it, and this is why I picked Jerome. I reckon in this day and age, when you look at the teams that are going well as well, Reece Walsh at the back, who's two? Dill Edwards is probably
Tedesco.
All these sort of fullbacks though. I think Drinky. I would prefer, they're ninth, but I hear people screaming that out. But still, Drinky's on fire.
Yeah.
I reckon for a Kiwis team, you have Shawnee dictating. You got Dill Brown playing his ball running best as always. So you get Shawnee flipping both sides like he's doing at club level. Then you got Jerome or Joey Manu at fullback. So what I'd do is I'd defend Jerome at centres in defence.
Left centre or right?
Left. Yeah. So left or right, depending on where defender. You put. Wherever you got Timokor, right? Because I think Timokor will be a lock for the other right centre position or left centre. So you move wherever Timokor doesn't play. You have Jerome Hughes playing fullback in good ball because that's where I want him. But you play Joey Manu at fullback in defence, so you still get his kick returns and you get all those good yardage, strong meters that you get out of yardage.
Would you say where else would you play him? Just say because that's a lot of fucking around on the field.
Well, not really. It's just changing Jerome and thing around. So as soon as
would you start Manu at the left? Left centre?
Wherever Jerome moves from, so just say he's left centre, right? He defends left centre outside of Dill Brown. I think he'd do a fine job doing that in the centres. In attack, whenever he gets the ball in attack, he starts flying in the middle. Joey goes from kick returns. As soon as he catches, kicks returns, tries to skittle a few people, he just floats out to his left centre position.
You could do that.
And then Jerome starts popping up again through the middle. Or you just have a little call for a couple of sets. Like I just go back to when Trent Robertson did it really well with us with Minicello and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, different positions on the wing, but that's even just a place closer to come through the middle. So my lineup would be Joey Manu, so Jerome Hughes at fullback. I'd have Dylan Brown at 6. People were sleeping on Dylan Brown. Dylan Brown was killing it at the start of the year. The only reason he missed a lot of footy is because of the off-field shit.
I don't know if they're sleeping on him. I'm having him in the side somewhere.
No, there was a lot of people, I think, just because of the time he's missed, even in the comments, or someone texted me.
He's a gun.
He even tried to will Parramatta back into that game against the Broncos as well. But, so that would be my side anyway. We'll see how that plays out as we go on. I think it's going to be the Kiwis versus Australia versus Samoa in the Tri-Nations at the end of the year. Speaking of Jerome Hughes, the Storm beat the Raiders 48-2. Absolute clinic. The type of bounce-back game that you expect from the Storm after they lose to the Penrith Panthers in the fashion that they did. And I thought Munster nailed it last when he was talking about it after the game. There's levels to the Panthers at the moment, and they've got to find a way to get up there. They've got 3 to 4 weeks to try to figure it out. But they took their aggression out. Danger signs, when Welsh crossed for the first try, straight through the middle, I was like...
It's danger signs for the Raiders, full stop.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like he barely scores a tries, Welsh, let alone come through the front door.
He hasn't scored in 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But coming through the front door of a team that's got Papali'i and
like 7 minutes into the game, 8 minutes into the game too.
Yeah, it's not good signs. We've got those guys this week, and I think we might feel the wrath of Canberra.
Ooh.
It's fucking a very angry Ricky Stewart.
Oh.
Yuck.
Shout out to Ricky for the depressor of the week too. I was going to bring it up, but I was like, go and have a look at it, have a watch. Judge it for yourself. I love Ricky. 80 seconds of the best, that's all he gave him.
The Storm's good, man.
You know what? There was danger signs when he went through, but it's like every other try, it was like, man, there's just so many holes everywhere.
Yeah, it's more. Do you look at this game and go, Storm's on? They're going to make a big run, or you look at the Raiders and go, fuck.
Raiders were awful.
Yeah,
it was a mixture of both.
Yeah,
it was a mixture of both.
Because of
but I'm leaning towards
the missed
Raiders
assignments defensively.
Yeah,
that's what I'm looking at. That's dangerous for the Raiders. You think by now, round 24, like you're not really missing that many like easy opportunities in defence. You shut all that down, and they were missing just like really basic reads. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah, there were even just holes where people were coming up.
Yeah, it's just
not
like
shutting the gate.
Yeah.
Harry Grant come off the bench. I guess like Bellyache gave him a bit of a rest post-Origin. He's played a lot of footy. But it's been a big year for him transitioning to that full number 9, right? Yeah. It's like for
some games last year he played 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Big difference, and you go balls out. He was coming on and just changing games like by himself, changing the whole speed of the ruck because he knew like he's about 15 minutes before halftime.
Yeah,
and he's fit as hell. Now he's like, you got to manage that 80 minutes sometimes. Sometimes you might be out there for the whole time. They don't have that Brandon Smith coming off the bench. They were fucking unbelievable, those two.
It's been a big adjustment for both of them, right? Brandon and Harry. Brandon struggled a little bit more because he's a new club. Harry's had a really good season, but still, I think he's the opposite to Cheese, where I think Cheese is starting to get better as he gets more acclimated to the system, and Harry's starting to fatigue a little bit. Yeah, and I think that was part of it. Starting off
injuries as well. You know what I mean? Like he was out for 8 weeks. New system where Harry's still the same system. They're building. They pretty much build around him. You know, it wasn't that much of a change for him, just more time. And he could acclimate to that easy because it's just a fitness thing.
Speaking of more time, Ryan Pappenhausen got a full 80 minutes for the Falcons. 1 try, 6 goals. One of them was a penalty goal. 19 runs for 127, the best. 1 line break, 2 line break assists and 2 try assists. How quickly do they rush Pappy back in, or do they just keep giving it time? Do you want me to get the schedule up for the Knights, for the Storm, sorry?
I don't know, but I want him to get at least 2 games in, 2 or 3. If he's getting through 80 minutes now.
Yep. So they play.
Do you put him in? I would.
They got the Dragons, Titans, and Broncos.
I'm putting him in
against the Dragons.
Starting him, yeah.
You know what? I'd prefer to go Titans. I'd wait one more game, go Titans, and then they get the Broncos up at Brisbane.
I think this might be a Pappy choice, right?
Yeah, that could. Yeah, he could play a part for sure.
If Belly's like, you ready to roll?
Well, Belly said after the game he hadn't yet watched the game, and he said he was going to come back and talk to Pappy about.
And if he thinks he's ready to go, he's ready to go.
Okay,
I think it might be, and I don't think if Pappy can get through 80 minutes like he has, he's done all the rehab, he's done everything possible, the time and everything like that. Now it's just a mental thing, and just going, fuck, I'm ready. And if he's not ready, he'll say no.
Yep.
Because he's he's a pretty open sort of person, right? He's not a selfish player or anything like that.
No,
he doesn't want to put himself. You don't want to put yourself out there if you're not ready. It's a big jump from Q Cup to NRL football.
But those are good stats, and that's how you want to play, right?
They're great stats.
Yeah,
they're great stats. But it's a different level when you step up to the NRL. So maybe another game.
Jared Croker, 300 of the best, 305 currently.
Nice. He
announced his retirement and the year said his body's just given up. Shout out to Croker, great servant in the game. Well done, mate. Hopefully he gets to finish off the year well.
Yeah.
He might be back in against your Dogs. I don't know, seeing what's happening with him at the moment, but said the body just...
Wasn't keeping up, was it?
Wasn't keeping up.
The mind was there, but the body wasn't there. It's weird, eh?
All right,
great career.
Great career.
He's going to get, you know what he's going to be in? He's going to be in those teams' best players not to play Origin.
Yeah. Most underrated player of all time.
Best bloke.
Do you want to be the most underrated?
Fuck that.
I think there was one year where Andrew Voss put out a team and he had me as one of the most underrated players in the year. I was like...
yeah, I like it. Yeah, whatever.
It's like a backhanded compliment,
it is.
Right?
It is.
It's like I'm not rated.
It is.
But it's still nice to get a compliment regardless. All right, the Knights beat the Bulldogs 42-6. Close to your best lineup of the year, mate, but super underwhelming. I was so surprised. I thought... I made them my LPC multi of the week because I thought the 8.5 was going to be enough to bounce back. But after the first try to Gags, the floodgates, it was just as bad as the Raiders game.
I don't know. I was up there. Like I went up and see my brother in Morpeth. Families hanging out together.
Good?
Yeah, it was good, man. It was good to see him. We stayed the night up there, drove down, got dropped at McDonald's Stadium. Was expecting a hell of a lot. They trained amazing all week. Everything was said. The preparation was spot on, and then just the performance was really underwhelming. That's me being very, very fucking nice.
That's been happening now because I thought at the start of the year they showed some real signs of fight. I feel like they've completely... Well, they're the Bulldogs. They've lost a dog in them. Yeah. They're just struggling for dog. Like, they're struggling for fight. The reason I love what Reedy did was because Reedy, even going back to the Broncos game when they were trying to do the try Julys,
he's not standing for this shit.
He's slapping balls out of their heads. You can tell it means a lot to him. He looks super frustrated. But I need to see more from other players in there. Yeah. Like... There are other guys in that team that have got massive raps on. The Matty Burtons, the Viliami Kikau's only a couple of games back now. Luke Thompson's one game back. But they're your highest paid players. They can't afford to have back-to-back. And this is my opinion. Mate.
I mean, if I was really going to say my opinion...
Well, let me go. Let me go. They cannot put performances of less than 7 out. That's just, you can't do it. Still got too many players in that team that are probably not week to week first grade material, but you're getting a lot better and you'll get better next year. But those guys, they can't afford to toss that up. They're on too good of money. They're too good of players. I know it's super frustrating when you're playing in a team and it's not going right, and sometimes the level of the team comes down, but you just got to find a way to be better.
With what I feel sorry for is the coaching staff, right? The Chad Randalls, the Zap Turners, the Ciros, Mick Potter, the amount of work that those guys put in, right?
But you know the players are working too.
Yeah, and the players are doing, and this is what I can't put my finger on, and to all the Bulldogs fans out there, the preparation that they get, the coaching that they get is fucking second to none. It's some of the best prep I've seen a team go through, and it's just a performance thing, right?
Do you think it's like it's fully a mental thing now? Like mentally they've been beaten down? Like, you look at Reedy's successful Parramatta team, Viliami, Birdo, but they just look pretty, like as soon as that try happened, I was like, oh shit, they're going to get blown out.
Yeah. But we started off, it was like 6 or 7 minutes, we played
good,
smash mouth football. Yeah. Straight through the middle, got to the kicks, and then, one missed tackle, then bang, try, Gags. Like it was just step through, and just miss assignments. Compared to how they train and what we're trying to build there, and then you just you look at that games. What do you say? What do you say? I'm fucking confused after games. Like I'm in the sheds. I get to see how they react after the losses and at half time.
On the bus with them on the way home.
I'm just I caught the bus on the way home. Like not one word.
I don't mind that.
I get it. Like I'm fucking. But I've never been in a position ever in my career in this position as a player, and it's hard to give them advice on stuff like this is how you bounce back. Like, I don't fucking know how to, you know what I mean? Like, you just got to keep working hard, hard, trust in the process, keep doing that. 3 more games to go. Let's win 3 games. That's all you can do is just be positive. You know, it was just hard. It was very hard to watch. Just like because I was so fucking confident. I thought we were going to win.
Yeah,
I honestly did, and I was just like, I couldn't have been more wrong.
The hip drop on Hastings. That's the second time
presto, mate. I love great kid. It's just this is what it's going to happen in the game right now, right? With the hip drops, and this is how it happens. That's a legs tackle.
Yeah.
It should have went straight to the legs. If you're not right in front of the bloke and you go high, what are you going to do? You're going to lose your legs and you're going to end up on a hip drop. You're going to swing around. So, just a little tip to any young players: if you're going to, and it's not like Hastings is a big, destructive runner, right?
Correct.
You can just hit straight drive through his hips or straight through his chest, anything like that, anything but that.
He just kept on driving.
He just missed it. Yeah, he missed it, and then he's sort of come around there, and there was no intention there. And Preston's one of the best kids I've ever seen at the club. He's highly intelligent, and his character is fucking second to none. And he might miss the 3. He might get 3 weeks.
Yeah. There could be,
big chance. And it's such a shame because he's been, he's probably going to be up there for Rookie of the Year. I reckon it's probably cost him a Rookie of the Year spot.
Yeah, it is too.
Yeah, it's going to be probably they're going to give it to that Buller now, and that's well deserved as well. But I think it's only
Camperera or Will Warbrick outside backs. I would have said Preston too.
Yeah, I think Preston just say in a side that's
Isaiah Katoa.
Yeah, is he fucking?
He's rookie.
Yeah, I suppose. But he would have been up there.
Yep. It would have been a big chance.
And it sucks that if it does end his career, end it in the season like that. It does because there was no intention there. Hopefully Hastings isn't out for too long.
Well, scans today have confirmed Newcastle Knights halfback Jackson Hastings has a low-grade syndesmosis, and he could be right for this week.
Yeah, okay, well, that's good.
Glad to see Jacko's doing.
Yeah, he's just done well.
Yeah. On recent form, just before we move off and finish off the game, are the Knights, if you think of their last. Well, they've won 6 in a row now.
Yeah.
In round 15, they played the Broncos in that fucking dogfight between Reece Walsh and Kalen Ponga. The following 2 games they lose to the Roosters and the Panthers, both in close ones. They'd love to have that Roosters game back because at that time, I just don't think they had that fucking belief across the board. But they played maybe the Panthers and lose a close one. I think they beat the Roosters the following week. After that, they win 6 in a row. 2 of those scalps, Storm and Raiders.
But
top 8 teams.
The game that turned them was when they pumped us 66-0. Remember that?
I think it was the game against the Broncos, even though they lost a couple after.
Was that close to it?
That was 3 weeks before. So your 66-0 was the first win.
Yeah,
in the 6 game
because we were
streak.
on the same amount of wins.
You've started the streak.
No, but
that game started
the Bulldogs and the Knights were on the same amount of wins, so that's kicked it off.
Yeah,
the same amount. We're on 5 wins each.
That's crazy. That's right.
And then they've fucking gone boom, and we've just you know. But that's just a bit of confidence and all that kind of stuff, and consistency, and and then they deserve it. They're fucking good team. Great club. I've got a lot of good friends still there, and I'm proud of Newcastle.
Yep. There are. I think the most impressive part for me was the variety of tries that they scored.
Yeah, they play some footy, man.
For a while there, at the start of the year, it was Greg Marzio and Dom Young. They're trying to get to the edges, but they're setting up well now. Specifically, Jackson Hastings, where he's setting up. He's just setting up shape all the time.
Dom Young looked like fucking Wendell Saylor in his prime.
He's a good player,
man.
Dom Young.
I'll miss him.
Is Dom Young going to miss some footy?
No, he's at the Roosters actually.
Oh, fuck, I thought he got injured and I missed it. All right, mate. We'll be back for the preview on Wednesday before we take off to New Zealand. Remember, come and find us in New Zealand. We'll be handing these out. Looking forward to the show on Wednesday. We'll see you then.
All right, see you guys.